Welcome back to the C Morning Show, and it is time for our first discussion, me and Ranga Samad of this morning, of course, and we are in the Ramadan, the holy month, especially for a Muslim. In this holy month of Ramadan, I will ask Ranga, since you have a child, you have a children, do you still remember the first day your child fasted, or how do you teach them?
Yeah, I remember my daughter when she was 6, which was first grade, I think.
Okay.
It was tough, of course, but I think we gradually taught her how to do it properly, right? Starting from, of course, the sahur, and then moving on to not eating until at least lunchtime, and then going back to fasting until Maghrib. So I think that's
the most profound,
easiest one, right?
difficult one. When did the first time you do the fasting?
Me, if I'm not mistaken, kindergarten when I was 5, I think.
Yeah, I think around that age, right?
I did the same way that I taught my daughter.
Yeah, was it difficult?
Very.
I know, right? Oh my God. I still remember when I was a kid, I learned to fast. I sneak into the fridge, of course, and want to, have the cold.
Right. Oh, of course. The coldness of the fridge.
Exactly.
Right. And you just smell something good.
I was so thirsty.
For a few good seconds, you just feel good.
Yes. All right. Speak about how we teach the kids or children fasting in the holy month of Ramadan, or how we maintain their health during fasting. We're gonna ask this kind of questions to an expert, a pediatrician, Dr. Kurniawan Satria, or Dr. Denta. Good morning, Doc.
Good morning, Doctor.
Good morning.
Are you fasting, Doc?
To be here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yes, he's fasting too. Great.
Speaking about fasting during Ramadan, I believe we know that this is mandatory obligations for every Muslim, but at first it can be very challenging, especially for our kids.
Yes.
Ranga mentioned earlier, and I also share my experience that day. So how, from medical perspective, at what age could children start practicing fasting, Doc?
Well, actually, there is no single recommendation for the age for children because every child could be different.
Yeah.
And in terms of physical and mentally capabilities, right? So I think all experts agree that there is no exact recommendation. So it really depending on the child, the children, and then but usually it's around we can teach them to do fasting around 6 or 7. You're right.
Oh, for a long time period, 6 hours.
Yeah, around maybe
Straight.
half. Yeah, like you said, gradually, from. We have to start gradually actually,
Right.
And then after that they can learn by themselves.
And I think right now I have another child, a boy now. He's 5. He's about to be 6 in August. Man, good thing I remember that one. No, but he started fasting already this week, and this is actually the first year. He's only 5, and now because he's actually in school, in kindergarten, and I think about 2 weeks ago, the teachers have been reminding him and us, the parents, to tell my son, to tell pretty much everyone, hey, you're gonna start fasting this year, so make sure they know it in their mind, they're gonna do it. I think that also helps. And then going back to school, because they're gonna start school this Monday for the first time, because this week was off.
Oh, they started at home.
Getting it ready, right?
Right.
We have to get them prepared. So hopefully by Monday, when he goes to school, seeing every one of his friends and teachers telling them, we're fasting, we're not drinking, we're not eating, hopefully that's also gonna encourage him to actually do it, and without, throwing any tantrums.
Yeah.
I'm so hungry.
That's interesting.
Like pushing them to do something they don't familiar.
Yeah.
And it's not just it's not only to prepare them, but because they don't like to be feeling left out.
Yeah.
If everyone is fasting, and then why am I the only one who don't do fasting? So I want to do it. Sometimes it's their want to do the fasting. Sometimes.
Yeah. So like what you were saying, so there's no actually time limit for how long they're supposed to be doing it, even though this is actually, let's say that's their first year. There's no, like you're saying, maybe 6 hours is long enough or 4 hours is long enough. It also depends on the kids.
Yeah, usually we put a time limit, time mark for 6 hours, usually during lunchtime. And then we do a check, we do check them, how do you feel, still quite strong, or maybe, and we can monitor whether they feel sluggish or not, whether they feel tired or they feel weak or they feel dizzy. So even though they said, oh, I'm still strong, I can still do it. But when they see, oh, no, You can just
Yeah.
break your fast for now, and then you can continue after this.
Yeah.
Right, so
Oh, yeah. My
keep an
teacher
eye on
taught, my parents taught me like that. So I can break my fast during the lunchtime at 12 at noon, and then I can continue my fasting, and then I break the fast at
Right.
4 p.m. and then I continue
you
until
continue
the
fasting.
6 p.m. around 6 p.m.
But I think that's a good highlight, just
Yes.
to keep an eye on
Yep.
the kids. So
Yes.
they're doing okay.
Yes, and checking on them
Yes.
regularly
Yes.
about how they feel. So, Doc, what about the food selections for children, especially kids who start early, around 6 year old, or even younger, like 5? They start to fast. I don't know, maybe 3 hours. How they break the fast in your recommendations? Because we're adult, we tend to eat everything,
Yes.
right?
Well, the food recommendation for the nutrition intake actually not much different. Still with a balanced nutrition, with a balanced amount, and still try not to eat too much sugar or even fried food. So
Yeah.
every limitation that the kids have
Okay.
prior the fasting months still apply during the fasting month actually.
Oh, okay. So
good.
basically, it's quite similar with the adult, right?
Yeah.
Ranga?
That's good. Now, Doc, the benefits of fasting, we all know. As adults, I think we know because especially nowadays, you can hear a lot of intermittent fasting. But for kids, right, specifically for kids, what are the medical benefits for them to be doing fasting at early stages like this?
Yeah, of course. For adult, yes, we know that there is a tremendous effect, benefit for fasting. For children, maybe slightly different because they're during a growth period, right? So they need plenty of nutrition still, and then they still have some limitation on like physical limitation. So there is a benefit, the same benefit as adult, but maybe just a little bit, not like in adult when fasting. But some more benefit for them is for them to to learn how to do like self-awareness and self-discipline.
Yes.
When you do self-discipline, then your body will follow right the health benefit, and then social awareness,
Yep.
and even we can teach them how to aware with their spiritual awareness.
Yeah, spiritual experience as well.
Yeah,
Right,
so it
right.
will be good because that they become aware of the surrounding of the family, even or even the school, and then they will try to do good and spread more kindness.
Yes. All right. So before we continue about this talk and what is the benefit of fasting for kids, I think we have a cool information, right, Ranga?
Right. So before this, continuing, there's something that could inspire you to find meaningful Ramadan activities with your kids. So we're gonna check it out. To fill free time while fasting, students of AR Raudatul Hasanah in Medan recently took part in a mass tadarus or Quran recitation.
They sat in a big circle, which allowed each student to listen and pay attention to peers who are reciting. This activity is expected to improve their fluency in reading and better understand the contents of Quran.
Now, Doc, we're continuing here because there's a lot of things that kids do during the day, especially now this week, my son and my daughter actually, they didn't have school. They have time off for the week because of the early week of Ramadan. So how do we manage their daily activities? Because normally they can just do whatever, not some, but they do a lot of heavy activities, and we know we can get them to drink, we can get them to eat more to make sure that they replenish let's say anything that's missing from their body. But during Ramadan, how do we manage that to make sure that their energy level is still high and they're not throwing tantrums again while fasting?
Because, it's not allowed.
That too.
Hey, you're not allowed.
Oops. Control your emotions.
That's a good question. I mean, still the basic is we have to make sure that the nutrition intake is balanced and good enough for them. Like make sure that the carbohydrate is good, the protein is good from a good sources, and then the fiber also good. And then we have to make sure that they have enough rest during the day or night, because usually in Ramadan, we have an extra activity like tadarus, just
Right.
now, or even like
Tarawih at night.
Tarawih,
Exactly.
evening pray, and so
Yeah.
then we have to wake up early for
early.
shower. So we have to still make sure that they have enough rest every day. And we talk to them. I mean, like we give a understanding to them that this is the month of Ramadan. This is the time for us to do self-reflection and
Yes.
then to evaluate ourselves and then to be a better person. So you might need to adjust a little bit about your, I don't know, activity and playing and all that stuff.
Yeah, because actually it's a very busy month of doing good deeds, praying and everything pretty much. And
So many activities for kids.
So many
you know,
activities for kids.
School activities,
Yes.
homework, you know, and sometimes the teacher asks them to fill the, Ramadan book.
Right.
Oh,
To
yeah.
follow.
Yes.
And then you have to ask the signature.
Exactly, to ask the signature of the features.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
my
fun.
God, there's
That's
a lot,
really fun.
lot of homework, right? But if we think about that nowadays as an adult, I think that's a great experience. Like you said, doctor, teach about to being disciplined, to more aware about our surrounding environment, being kind to others and everything. So as a parent, is there any conditions or special things that parents must pay attention that probably could prevent children from fasting?
Well, children cannot do fasting. Of course, they have a acute illness. So just like us, they have fever or maybe diarrhea or dehydration or something like that. So, and then if they have chronic disease, chronic illness like such as diabetes, yes, kids also have diabetes, and then maybe asthma or any other diseases. Actually, they can still do fasting, but of course with some adjustment, and then the parents need to maybe consult to their pediatrician about the child's condition.
Yes, that's important.
Yeah. So the most important thing is we know how our children's like
Yes.
Right.
their condition, their underlying condition and such.
All
So we
right.
can decide. Okay, you can do fasting. You cannot do fasting.
Right. So my next question will be just on that line. Are there any clear signs where you definitely can tell whether the kid is actually can continue on fasting, or you can see and you can tell that, oh, this is not a good sign, you better start drinking now? Is there anything that is a red flag when you're seeing kids fasting?
Well, signs like weakness or dizziness is quite easy to observe.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
very, very, very dizzy, and then they're
That's
so
true or
weak,
not, right?
Yeah.
very weak, and then they cannot. I mean, like they cannot function.
Yeah.
Like they
Yeah.
cannot go to school. I mean, like they cry. We don't.
We don't want to take it lightly.
Yeah,
right?
we don't want to
always wanna
take it lightly, and then we can say, okay, are you sure you want to break the fast? Well, you can break the fast, and then you can continue like that. So the children will not feel left out of the fasting Ramadan. Okay.
Fasting of-
What about when they're not feeling well? Because normally when they're not feeling well, we give them some type of medicine, right,
Yeah.
to feel better. And then sometimes you have to continue at least 2 to 3 times. What about for kids? For kids' sake, these, especially for the young ones, should we continue giving the medicine, or we can kind of just postpone it maybe after, Maghrib?
Yeah, of course we can still
We can
give the medicine. I mean, like there's no reason to postpone the medicine if they're really have the acute illness.
Okay.
All right. So basically, fasting for kids, it's safe. It's
Safe?
totally safe. Depends on the kids' situations or the conditions. But as a parents, I think parents must pay attention to what's the children condition, like what doctor said. And we are checking to your kids, are they okay to do the fasting,
Yes.
or they want to break, but we don't take it very light because it's
Right.
mandatory. It's it's something that we have to teach from the very early age,
Yes.
so we can have or build the good habit until we are grown up.
Exactly.
Yeah. So do you still remember when you break the fast when you still a child, probably because you're feeling weak or
Yeah,
something?
exactly.
Like that?
Yeah. Of
What
course.
did you tell to your parents?
I didn't tell them. You're not watching.
Good. That's a good tip from Ranga. Don't tell your parents. All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Denta. Thank you for your
coming.
insight
Thank you for
and
the
input.
information. Yes.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
please pay attention to your
I
kids.
will. I
Ranga.
will.
If sometimes they feel weak and then they feel very strong, you have to pay attention.
I got it.
Probably
I got
go
it.
to the fridge and, you know, no. We
Gotta
cannot
wash the fridge.
assume. That's not
I
allowed.
don't need to wash my kids. I need to wash my fridge, right?
Oh, yeah. That's a good idea, too.
Very good.
Empty your fridge.
Really good. Thank you, doctor.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, doctor.
All right, guys, that was Dr. Denta, pediatrician, that's coming in very, very nicely. He's telling us what to look for when you have little ones starting to fast this year. So good luck for all of you parents over there, and have a good Ramadan month. All right, we're gonna take a break, but when we come back, we're gonna have recap from around the world when we return. So stay here with us on the C Morning Show on C Today.